Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending your time zone. Welcome to the Mass Man tutorial channel. Then we're still in indices involving equation. Then what I'm going to do here is that we have the question as this: 2 raised to power 2x minus 5 bracket 2 raised to power s bracket plus 4 equal to 0. At this point, how are you going to do? What are you going to do at this point? You have to express this function to descend with the 2 raised to power s by having 2 as base and also having power as x. So you remember our rules of indices, by which when you have a m bracket n at this point is descending by saying a is my base, then n times m is the same thing with mn. So at this point we are going to apply it here. So therefore we have it as 2. This is my 2. This x means what? M, you put it here, bracket. This n means 2, you put it here, minus 5 bracket 2 raised to power s plus 4 equal to 0. So at this point you have already expressed the function to be the same with this. So what we are going to do for you to form your equation, what you are going to do is you can introduce any alphabet of your choice. Like my name is Charles the Mass Man, so I will introduce D as the abbreviation. I can simply say that 2 raised to power s equals to D. So any place I see 2 raised to power s, I'll substitute with D. So we have it here, we have D into raised to power this minus 5 bracket D plus 4 equals to 0. So we're heading somewhere. Then remember there's a power here, which is what? 1. 2 times 1 is D raised to power 2 minus 5 times D is 5D plus 4. Why we are multiplying because of the bracket? Because I told you that bracket is the same thing with multiplication. So at this point now, for we to get the value of D before we can solve for our S, so we can use any alphabet, any method. We can use factorization method. You say using factorization method at this point. So by using factorization method, then we have to factorize this function. How are you going to factorize it? This is my constant, this is a coefficient, and coefficient of D here is 5. The coefficient of this square here is 1. Then if I want to factorize, I'll find a number that when I multiply the number together, it will give me plus 4. I'll use the same number either as subtract or add. It will give me that coefficient of 5. Then we ask ourselves, what is the number? Then we can say that, for instance, now if I say minus 4 minus 1 will give us minus 5, right? Then because of we are doing with the alphabet, there's alphabet here, I don't understand. So we have it minus what? Minus what? 5. Then the same thing by saying minus 4 minus this one, you call it D. When you call it D now, it's the same thing by saying we have it at this point. Sorry, we have 4D minus D will give us minus 5D at this point now. Then it means that any place I see minus 5D, I will now remove minus 5D and substitute with what? Minus 4D minus this. Then we have D square into minus 4D. Because of this, remember, minus D plus 4 equal to 0. So here, I will now close the bracket. I close this bracket here, close this one bracket. So after closing the bracket now, I have to do what? I have to factorize back. Guys, so I have to factorize back after closing the bracket. So let me clean the question, you know it. Then we have something like this. We have D. D at this point, let me repeat it, D square minus 4D or bracket minus bracket D plus 4 equal to what? 0. So let us factorize this one out to how many d is here is 3. We bring one d outside the bracket, you have d. If you say d times d, it will give us d squared. Then the same time, when you have something like this, 4d divided by d will give us 4. You close the bracket. Then here, you make one visible at this point, 1 bracket, by saying minus times plus is minus. So we have d minus 4. Remember, whenever you are doing factorization, you must get a common. If you didn't get a common like this, it is mean that the question cannot go with what? Factorization method. Then at this point now, the one that is outside the bracket, you bracket it together. D minus this, then bracket this one, d minus 4 equals to 0. So at this point now, you have something like this. So what you are going to do is that whenever you see 0 at this function, it means that this is two equation. Then you have d minus 1 equals to 0. Then comma d minus 4 equals to 0. There's some can say or, but it's the same thing by saying d equals to this one cross equal sign. This is 0. Minus cross equal sign is plus, comma d equals to 0. 4 minus 4 cross equal sign is 4. You have it at this point. So that when you have d equal to 0 plus 1 is 1, comma, then 0 plus this is what? 0 plus 4 is what? D is equals to what? 4. Then at this point, remember the question said that we should find the value of what? We should find the value of x, the value of s, and you introduce here 2 raised by s as this. It say recall, when recording that 2 raised by s is equals to what? Is equals to d. Therefore, when when the first d is equals to 1, you have it as d raised by s equals to, you remove this one, you remove this d and put what? 1. And you remember your indices that any number raised to power 0 is 1. So it's applicable from this point. Then we can simply say that at this point, 2 into s equal to. Then here now, let us complete so that you have the same base. 2 raised to power 0 is the same thing with 1. This is base cancel base. Then you left with the what? Bring out the power, which is what? 0. Then it say when that is the second d is equals to 4. Are we there? Then you remember, recall, you have it as 2 raised by x equal to, here we substitute what? 4. At this point now we substitute 4. Then for we to break it down so that we can have the same base, we have it 2s into, you ask yourself how many 2 is inside 4 is what? 2. When you cancel this, then you left with what? At this point now, your final answer is first s is equals to what? 0, comma, and 2. So that is it. Thank you.